Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Greek Myths and Legends. Today, today's myth is one that is well known no matter if you've read the book or listened to the musical about it. I will be talking about the Iliad. Now, this episode is going to be a two-parter because there's a lot to cover about the journey of Odysseus. Today, we are focusing on what leads up to the events of the Odyssey. Now, I don't feel like I have to go into great detail about the characters. There are quite a lot of characters involved, so instead of listing them out, I'll put a link in the description of this episode that you can go to if you want to learn about the characters. Now, here we go. All right, this is where most people think the lead up to the Trojan War was the kidnapping of Helen of Sparta. Yes, I'm going to call her Helen of Sparta. You can fight with me about that in the comments if you want to. Now, this was actually the lead up to the Trojan War. I'm going to give you all the semi short Cliff Notes version because if I didn't, this would be an extremely long episode. So, you have four goddesses: Eris, the goddess of discourse; Hera, queen of the gods; Athena, goddess of wisdom, war, and handicraft; and Aphrodite, goddess of love, beauty, war, and a multitude of other things. These four were at a wedding, and Eris decided she'd throw a golden apple with the words "For the fairest" engraved on it. Athena, Hera, and Aphrodite all went after the apple. Hera went to Zeus, and Zeus put Paris in charge of judging these three. Athena offered knowledge. Hera offered power. Aphrodite offered the most beautiful immortal woman. In the end, Paris gave the apple to Aphrodite, and in turn, Paris went and took Helen, who at the time was married to King Menelaus. The kidnapping of Helen. Now there's debates about this whole part. Helen was one of the most sought for women because of her beauty. Some say that Paris went to visit Menelaus and seduced Helen and sailed back to Troy, which prompted the war, not because she was taken, but because she was desired by many. She is known as the face that launched 1,000 ships. Now, into the war. There were many warriors in this war, including Achilles, who was known to be almost invincible except for his heel; Hector, who was the valiant defender on Troy's side of the war; and Odysseus, who came up with the idea of the Trojan horse. Now, the war itself took 10 years. Within those 10 years, there were multiple battles that include the Greeks landing in Troy, the duel between Paris and Menelaus, the battle over Patroclus' body, Achilles' revenge, and the death of Hector, and the Trojan horse, and the fall of Troy. I will be going over those battles, or at least the battle of Patroclus' body and Achilles' revenge and the death of Hector in a later episode. Each battle will have its own mini episode. Why did the war last 10 years? Why 10 years, you may ask? Well, Troy had a wall that the Greeks could not figure out how to penetrate. How did they finally get into Troy? Odysseus came up with the idea of building a giant wooden horse known as the Trojan horse. The army hid inside the horse once it was complete and led through the gates of Troy. The Trojans thought the horse was a gift, so they brought it into the city, and by nightfall the Greeks ambushed the town. Odysseus' vision. While the Greeks were fighting the Trojans in Troy, Odysseus had the vision of an unknown soldier killing his family and anyone in his town. Zeus then spoke to him and told him that the person in this vision was the infant son of Prince Hector. I cannot, for the life of me, pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try to. Um, Odysseus was told that if Hector's son was not killed, he would kill everyone Odysseus cared about. Zeus told Odysseus to drop the baby off the wall of Troy. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Greek Myths and Legends, and I am giving you a very special treat, and we'll be making the next episode right after this one gets published. That way you get two episodes in one day, since you have all been having a very, very long wait. So keep an ear out, keep an eye out, watch those notifications for the next episode, which is going over the Odyssey.